Hello, my name is Dr. Karen Oughton, and this is an Ain't It Cool News interview with Katharine Isabelle, otherwise known as Mary Mason, the lead character of American Mary. This is an Ain't It Cool News interview with Karen Oughton and the wonderful
Katharine Isabelle.
Okay, firstly, very seriously, in terms of American Mary, you're a cracking actress. You are so different in the flesh. I had to ask somebody if it was definitely you. How do you feel about Mary as a character?
I was absolutely privileged and completely honored to get the chance to be Mary, and I every day was just praying to God that I wasn't fucking it up. When you get a character like that is so special and so rare, and the girls are so passionate and so in love with her, and the crew was so passionate and so enthusiastic, and everyone's doing their utmost, and then it all lands on my shoulders, and I'm like, fuck me, I better not screw this up. And I was equally as in love with her as everyone else is, and to try to do her justice was scary. It was wonderful, but I just really didn't want to let her down.
What do you think is the core of Mary?
Well, the core of Mary is like the core of anyone else. She's a human being, right? So she's strong, she's smart, she's independent, she's strange, she's weird, she's awkward, she's vulnerable, she's everything. I mean, she's so multidimensional. The core of her is just like anyone else, very, very complex. I think she's fairly original as far as what I've seen on film from a female character. I don't think American Mary is a horror movie, but in terms of what someone might classify as horror, I think she is very original, and yeah, I mean, that's what she is.
Did you feel different actually playing it, because your entire manner, everything about you changes on that screen? It's incredible. How did you get in her skin?
It's a process. The process for me when I'm doing something like this that I'm really truly passionate and crazy about. I mean, when I first read it, I read it 3 times in the same day. I read it first on my BlackBerry, whole 180 pages, because it was just fascinating. And then I sat with it for about 8 months just to get the funding to actually get it rolling. I've always hoped, but I didn't really truly believe we'd ever make it. I was a little bit worried that it might not ever happen, and as an actor, I can't ever really get my hopes up for anything because, they'll be dashed. So I probably didn't look at the script for about 6 months, and it just sort of sank in subconsciously. And I was always very passionate about it, but I wasn't going to obsess over it because I didn't know if we were going to make it, or I didn't want to be terribly disappointed and crash. So when it actually got time to make it, we didn't have time for rehearsals, which is great because I fucking hate rehearsing. It kills all the
original spark.
Yeah, and I feel like intuition and, human beings don't, have a process of how they're going to think or feel or what. You have to understand the character, let it sink in, and then just fucking do it. And that way it's organic, it's real, and if I had any questions, of course, Syl would have an hour-long answer for every one of them, to the point where it's like, yeah, I got it, okay, shut up. Just stop. And then just the environment that we were in that was created by the girls' energy and their genius and their positivity and their encouragement. They set up this environment for us that was so, and it's very scary when you go in with filmmakers who have written it and directed it and are so close and are so obsessed with the character. They oftentimes have this complete image of the way that character is in their head, and you can never really live up to it, and they get angry at you for it, sort of, and I would do things that wasn't necessarily in the script, and they would love it, and they would be like, oh my god, I never thought of that, and they were so encouraging. So we were allowed, within the parameters of what we were given, we were really allowed to bring our own creativity to it and not just have to fit into their box of what they thought it should be. So that was really, it was just very humbling. Yeah, it was just amazing. Yeah.
An example of that, if you can. Don't worry about spoilers, it's fine.
Well, I don't know if there's an example of it that they trusted me enough to let me have. They gave me Mary. They let me have her, and that was their baby, especially Syl. It was their child, and they let me have her and have control of her and do things with her, and it was absolutely just an honor, basically. It was an experience.
What bit of the film are you most proud of?
Proud of? I'm proud of the girls. I'm proud of the twins. I'm proud of everything they did. I'm proud of the script that they wrote. I'm proud of the way it looks. I'm proud of, and I had nothing to do with any of that, but I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the way that they pulled it off and they managed it. I mean, I have favorite scenes and favorite bits and stuff, but for proud of? Oh, well, I think my favorite scene is the scene after the thing happens to Dr. Grant, and Mary's in the strip club, and having a conversation with Lance over milkshakes. Oh. I thought that was the sweetest, because all this crazy shit has happened, and then she's already gone quite crazy at that point, and it's like the craziest you see her right before that scene. And then she has this moment of like self-questioning and self-doubt, and this man who is a big scary man is the sweetest thing to say to her and makes her feel so much better and more confident about herself. And I just thought it was such a lovely little breathing moment, and he was so sweet. And you see her actually genuinely smile for the first time. Yes. It's not a fake.
I noticed that. Yeah. The vanilla milkshake as well. Vanilla being all,
Yeah, I don't think you're vanilla, and so he gives her the chocolate one. And I think she doesn't. Every other time she really smiles in that movie, it's like fake, and that was a real genuine moment in the middle of all this crazy. Because I think you could very easily, once she hits a certain point, just play the whole rest of it like crazy and just like sexy crazy chick, and that moment was going, you go, oh right, I remember that Mary from the beginning of the movie. She is still a human being, and she's still a person with feelings and a soul, and that was that's why it's my favorite.
In terms of your character and the subject matter, did you do any research into the body mod scene?
Well, I'm a bit of a chicken. I can't even really watch horror movies because I get scared. I have like dreams and shit. And so I think it was after Sylv said, whatever you do, don't Google 7-sized penises, and then I did. And then I was like, I am not. So anything you want me to know about this from now on, you need to filter and you need to bring to me and make sure I'm not going to be totally traumatized like I was that time. So, and we had great consultants, Russ Fox and Church Body Modification, and they would explain everything and answer any questions that we had, and of course they were obsessed and they know everything about it now, and I got the PG sort of filtered version, so I knew enough, but I wasn't, I'm a bit squeamish with things, so oddly enough. Yeah.
Has it changed the way you feel about anybody?
Well, I mean, I think if you have to pick a moral of the story, it's to be empathetic to people and to think twice before you judge somebody on how they look. Every single person is in this movie, every single character ends up being completely different than you originally thought. And the most normal, well-adjusted, happy people are the body mod people. The most fucked up people are the people that society generally accepts, as upstanding citizens. So, it's the whole twist in that, and that's. I mean, you can't judge anybody on how they look or what, quote unquote bizarre or strange things they might be into or they might want to express.
How the bloody hell did you cope with that ending then? So don't worry about spoilers, it's fine.
The ending?
Yeah. Jesus, girl, wow.
Oh, Sylv was crying her eyes out. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. It was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I mean, the ending was sad. It was it was hard. It was cold. It was no one wanted to see Mary die because we all liked her, but she had to. So
why'd she have to?
I think she was free. I think she was quite satisfied with her final masterpiece, which basically would have been herself. I mean, the transformation physically that she goes through from the beginning to the end. And, she was like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I'm going to do to the end, and I'm going to sew myself up, and I'm going to win, and fuck it. And she won at the end, and yeah, she's dead, but, she had a little smile on her face, and I think she was released, she was free, and she'd done what she needed to do.
I think it's interesting how the whole film based around surgery and people wanting to become better in their eyes, and yet you have this character who changes, their mental state changes rather than physically.
Yeah, well, and she changes a lot physically, but it's all very superficial. It's all like makeup and her hair. She gets far more severe in her clothes and stuff. But yeah, she changes completely in a different way than everyone else has changed. And I mean, I think it comes out a little bit. It's expressed through just her choices and her appearance. But yeah, the real transformation for her was all sort of mental and emotional, just sort of realizing what life was really like and how people really are. And preconceived notions just went out the fucking window. So.
It's incredible because the clothing is very, particularly as she goes on, it's very hard, sort of PVC leather and stuff like that. How did that feel in terms of how you were playing? So I'm assuming it would have constricted you a lot more. At the beginning, weren't like a negligee thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as always, when you go into a film, the clothes and the hair and the makeup really bring it together for you. You really feel, I really felt like Mary. Once I got, the black leather and the gloves and the red lips and the straight hair, I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'm Mary, here we go. Like, I got her, here she is, like, let's do this. And you feel it, you walk differently, you move differently, you have a different essence about you when you really come into your character's skin. And that, your character's skin is really, it is superficially your hair and your makeup and your wardrobe. And once you have that, and then you have the story, it's easy. I mean, it's so well written that it's really not that hard. It's natural. It's organic. You just get in there and you're like, cool, yeah, awesome. It's what it is.
Fantastic. What to you was the significance of having the little bird, the cute little bird?
Originally, it was cat. And I'm allergic to cats. And I thought cat was kind of, I didn't want her to be a cat lady anyway. And the girl who plays Beatrice, it was her bird, it was Tiki Bird. And so we were thinking about like, oh, well, I guess we won't have a cat. And I was like, no, I really like the idea of a cat. And it would be fine. And they were like, well, we can't get a cat anyway. And you can't fucking get cats to do what you want because they're stupid fucking cats. They're like, fuck you, I have a cat, I need to do what you want. And she goes, I have a bird, and it talks. And we're like, what? Yeah, it's Tiki Bird, she talks. And she went home, and Tristan comes back in the morning. She goes, yeah, so I'm sitting around, and my bird's like, action, action. She learned how to say action on set, so we're saying it all the time. But the bird, I thought, I was thinking about that today when I was watching it, because everything kind of came together in such a panic. I don't think we really focused on, and Scylla would probably have a really great, intellectual, very deep, smart answer for what the bird represented, but the bird was kind of it was like her only friend. She didn't really have anyone else. She had her Nana she didn't really see and talk to, and then Nana dies. All the other relationships in her life, other than Lance, basically are someone needs her. There was no real true friendship. And her and Beatrice sort of had a friendship towards the end, but even still, Mary was like, here, I'm keeping you at arm's length. Like I keep everyone. I have this wall. I'm going to keep everyone at arm's length. The bird was always there, and it was the one thing that she really took care of everywhere. She took her to the new apartment, and then at the end, the lady that walks the bird out after Mary's dad, that was the girl's mom, the police officer that walked her out. And I just thought it was so sweet. The bird was kind of like her, it was like innocent Mary in a little cage, I thought, and she was well taken care of, and even at the end, she was taken care of. And I don't know why Mary would have a bird, but I just thought it was very sweet. It's very sweet.
It works perfectly in terms of the whole idea of the cage and everything else. I know it's a lot of a lot of time you've got blinds and things on the
she's covered, and I like that she's covered at the end. She doesn't see the body. I think it's weird. Her, yeah, I think it kind of represented the sort of innocent cage soul that was Mary. Like she can't get out, and she's just in there, this little pretty little creature. It's all kind of fucked up, trapped.
And she chooses not to bring really anybody else into that apartment. She said she has this relationship with Lance, but she chooses to stay herself and not give.
Yeah, and she has no relationship with anyone else. And even when the twins ask her, do you feel connected with anybody? She goes down. They said, do you feel connected with yourself? She goes, well, I guess everyone feels connected with themselves, but she doesn't really know that really. She's still kind of vague and wondering.
Yeah, wondering what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like anyone is, like any human being is. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I don't know.
Okay, slightly odd one. How the devil did you cope with that rape scene? Because that looked really nasty.
Oh, that was my second rape that month. It's my second scheduled rape.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. The one earlier that month was far worse. I had to drink a bunch of vodka. No, that one, David Lovegren, who plays Dr. Grant, is the sweetest, kindest And he was so upset about that scene, and he was so gentle, and I was like, sweetie, it needs to be rape. He just fucking hit me, and he's like, are you okay you alright if I go down to her? I'm like, dude, just rape me, let's get this over, just do it. And it wasn't, again, the environment that we were in, and everyone was so positive and supporting and encouraging. It wasn't like a weird, creepy...
You didn't need to kind of take a step out and do the boo-boo bit after?
No, it was pleasant. It wasn't traumatizing. It wasn't scary. I trusted David Lovegreen. He actually mouth raped my best friend in a movie years before called Roller Coaster, and I'd known him for and he was lovely. He was so polite. And he was so horrified at what he had to do, and I had to be the one like, no, do this, smack me, hit me hard, just give it to me, let's go. Yeah, no, it was, and again, it totally depends on the environment. Like when you feel like everyone is, it's not creepy, it's not gross, it's not gratuitous, it's not weird, then it's just another day. It's just another rape, whatever. Rape Tuesdays. Girls get in free.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.